All right, y'all. I'm here and I want to talk to y'all today about men in relationships and men controlling relationships. I'm going to play a little clip from when I was on Chef's show and I tried to tell this man, and what I said went right over these cats' head, in my opinion, man. You know, they're all good brothers. Chef Vic, 100 Watts, M3, and Mr. O, all good brothers. We were just chopping it up, but I think what I was saying was like way ahead of his time, and I don't think the chat really didn't get what I was saying. The chat just went way over the chat's head. So, excuse me, I'm gonna play it, and then I'm gonna talk about it.
All right. Well, my name is, I go by the name of M3 from Knowledge and Relationships on my YouTube channel, which we talk about relationships. And look, I'm just like a student that just like, humbly ready to learn. But so far from what I gather, like as far as with this conversation, right? I'm just going to give you a spoiler alert.
And I'm bringing, before you go, I just want to bring up my professor. My professor. We need a flower up there. This sausage party ain't right now. We needed to estrogenize. We needed to estrogenize the room like sage.
They about to have a whole panel full of estrogen.
Listen, hold on now. I can already feel the feng shui of the room changing right now. What up? That's my professor, y'all. If you see me getting a little smoother, better in this thing, yo, she really, yeah, man.
I need to get in touch with your professor because we was talking business stuff, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes the other day. I need to get in contact with your professor.
Yo, son, when she drops that Patreon, people gonna be sleeping out front like Beyonce concert. But listen, I snatched the mic. I snatched the mic from M3. So I'm gonna let M3 jump in, and then please pass that.
Before you do, this is just my small opinion from my small life, and it has no dominion on anybody else's thoughts. We just having a conversation, so please don't attack me.
No, she's a gangster.
No, you guys is good. Like I'm not here to attack anybody. I just wanted to state my personal opinion to it, because see, the thing is, man, like when it comes to, and I've been hearing like a lot of sex talk, so I'll break it down, right? The way how I look at it is like this. Women are the gatekeepers to sex, and men are the gatekeepers to relationships.
Okay, that's a common Kevin Samuels, statement, and I disagree with that, and so I respectfully disagree with Brother M3 on it. But we'll get into it. Let me let them finish.
And so
I humbly disagree, brother, but I'm gonna let you finish.
Okay. Well, that's why I stand on this, right? Because the thing is, women know what we want, what the majority of men want, and the fact is that we have like a lot of male simps that's out there. Yes, there are female simps, whereas like they'll do so much to try to get into the relationship, and it's up to man if he want to like play his cards or he wants to like actually pursue in a relationship. I feel like most men initially will like to be in relationships, but the problem is like not a lot of people could get the one that they truly want. And I think that's the part that people need to start being honest, right? Same thing for women. Women has a lot of way more options than the average man could have. But the thing is, they don't have a lot of true options. They don't have like a lot of guys that they truly want that would be able to pursue them. And so,
options for though, you got options for what?
Well, you talking about for the women? I'm sorry, go ahead.
You have more options for sex or marriage?
I'm talking about, okay, so women have more options, right? When it comes, that's why I said that the gatekeepers of sex. They have more options when it comes to just finding some average dude. If they really want to, if they're really that horny, horny, right? They can find anybody to sleep with. But I'm talking about the true nature, the true core of what they're looking for. They're looking to be.
Now, he said that Now, the brother said, you know, that a woman can find sex anywhere. Also, a man as well. A man can find sex anywhere as well. So, I disagree with the brother, you know, respectfully. He was, you know, all the brothers good brothers, but I just disrespect with his disrespect. Disagreed with his position. All right.
Be in relationships to hopefully get married and start families. And then that's the part where it's lacking, because the guys that they really want, that they really like, are not really pursuing them like that, because most of their men, they're already secure and they already have their own value. And so when you have other women that's pursuing one particular guy, then he doesn't really need, you know, the motivation to be trapped into relationships. You know what I mean? Whereas the average guy doesn't really have those options like that. So that's why that's.
I disagree with that. And I'll explain that later. That the average guy has a lot of options in today's marketplace. They're just not being, you're just not being led to believe that. But you have a lot more options. As a matter of fact, a lot more options than the females. But I'll get into that in a little while. I'll get into that.
That's where the scarcity starts to create. And so a lot of guys, right, the reason why, like, we're so fast to simp and pursue almost every woman is because deep down inside, we can't get the women that we want. So that's why I'm breaking it down to it.
I disagree with that too, brother.
It's just a lack of game, man. It's just a lack of game.
I hear you, big bro.
Well,
you gotta let bro Clarence speak on that,
right?
He done had two different.
Let me explain to you, brother, what I'm talking about. And so I disagree with you, as women are the gatekeepers of sex and men are the gatekeepers of relationship. In my opinion, brother, just my humble opinion.
Okay.
Men are the gatekeepers of everything. They just are unaware of it. They've been misled into thinking that women have some type of control or power, and they have zero. The only power they have is creating sexual tension, by which the men have been conditioned to address that. That's all. You've been conditioned by this society to address any form of sexual tension that is presented to you. If you could discipline yourself to not do that, you'd be in control of everything. That woman could not do nothing but call on her knees and come to you and say, please get in a relationship with me. And you just have to pick the one you want.
That's
how bad it could get. I'm not saying it should be that way. I'm not saying it should be that way, but that's how bad it could get if we all had the discipline that I'm talking about, brother. Right. Okay, so I went into that, and the chat just went bananas, right? They didn't understand. They looked at it like, man, you know, what is he talking about, right? Especially the females. Females are like, what are you talking about? I control everything. We rule everything, right? But let me break it down further. Women only have the power that we give them as far as relationships. This is why they say women are the gatekeepers of sex. Women are not the gatekeepers of sex. Women can only have sex. You got to have two people in agreement to have sex, to have, what they call that, consensual sex. We're not talking about forcing somebody to have sex. But to have consensual sex, assuming we're talking about consensual sex, you have to have two people in agreement. One person can't agree to have consensual sex, and unless the other person agrees to it too. So they can't do that without us being there as well, right? All right, so we're trying to, I tried to break this down, and basically, like I said, you have to have two people in agreement to have consensual sex, but a lot of times they try to make it sound like, the woman is the only one that can make that decision, when a man has to make that decision as well. The next thing I was trying to get into was the fact that that women are the men are the gatekeepers of everything. And I tried to get into the point where men have been conditioned. You've been conditioned to respond and react to any sexual stimulation, whether it's in a commercial or a TV ad or anything. You've been conditioned to allow sexual tension within yourself to be stimulated and kept at a certain level. Then on top of that, that has been reinforced by the society to say that you are not a man or you are not masculine if you don't have this abnormally high sexual tension at all times, which is easy to miss. It's easy to lead somebody that has an open appetite. It's easy to mislead people like that. Therefore, that's what I was trying to get across to the brothers on the panel. A shout out to all of the brothers on the panel. Shout out to the chat. I was trying to get across to the chat. The sisters in the chat was kind of like, they wasn't feeling me. And I understand. I was probably about 20 years ahead of all of what, they so young. They don't. They just can't catch it. They got a hole in their glove. They can't even catch it. It's too big of a, it's too big for their glove. You know what I mean? The ball is too big for their glove. So anyway, that's what I was trying to get across, is that men control everything. So how does that relate to you in your own life? You as a man, you have to judge for yourself what's good for yourself. Don't go by other men. Don't go by no other man and say, I'm a man, and base your manhood on another man's manhood. Because his manhood is based on something else. And that person that he's basing his manhood is based on something else. You base your manhood on what's good for you, what makes you happy, what makes your heart sing, what makes you feel good as a man. Because we as black people have been so rebellious against God, we look for leadership in places we don't need leadership. You don't need a king, you don't need a queen, you don't need all that stuff. God had already set everything up. We didn't need those things, but because we so rebellious, we wanted a ruler that we could look at and see instead of ruling ourselves. So we start making the thing called kings and queens and all this other stuff. And it's still a part of our lives today, where we look at another man and compare ourselves to that man and say, man, if I want to be a man, if I want to have real manhood, I got to sleep with as many women as he slept with, or be in the running or in the race or whatever. Instead of saying to myself, what really makes a man? Sleeping with women, or acknowledging and doing something about his responsibilities as a man? Which one is more? Unfortunately, in this world, you've been taught you ain't a man unless you got so many bodies, you can't count them no more. But really, Will Chamberlain had 20,000 bodies according to him, right? They put him in the same ground they put everybody else in. They put him in the same ground. It's not how many women you sleep with that makes you a man. It's how many people you help. That's what makes you a man. How many people can you help? If you get a kick out of sleeping with women, having unprotected premarital sex all over the place, I mean, eventually you're going to ring the bell. And that's what we're not talking about as men, man. We're not talking about the downsides of having all this unprotected premarital sex. We're not talking about the downsides. We talking it up like it's a good thing. And we leading other young men into that. They trying to get their manhood saying, damn, you know, this person sleep with a bunch of women. I got to do that too to become, so that I can be considered a man. We leading our young men astray. We turning our women into promiscuous concubines. And then we don't want to accept the responsibility. We actually come on here on YouTube and throw rocks at the women. I don't know. I'm getting off the topic. The topic was, you know, men, you in control of your own. What your view of masculinity is to you. You control that. You know what I mean? Don't let no woman understand that you've been conditioned to react to sexual stimulation in this America. You've been conditioned to react and respond to that, where you leave your total senses. You don't want to leave your senses for no reason other than you're actually doing a couple of different things, which is being in the sex act and as well as being in protection mode. Those are the two areas where you don't need your right mind at that point. Because if you're protecting somebody, you might have to take somebody's life to protect somebody. So you can't be in your right mind and take somebody's life. And then same thing, can't be in your right mind when you're having sex with somebody, because you'll find a reason why you shouldn't do it. That's why it should be in the right you should be only having sex under the correct circumstances, the correct conditions. And premarital unprotected sex with unvetted people, that's a bad situation to be in. But we're not showing these young men. We encouraging young men to get involved in that behavior, and that is what is killing our community, especially in particular the black community. Anyway, I know, here I go again. But Clarence, you done went off again. Comments, questions. Leave me a comment, question. Let me know what you think about what I'm saying, and maybe I'll address it on a live stream. Thank y'all for listening, and never be the aggressor, brother. Peace.